For a long time, people have been trying to monetize this ability to connect with their audience. And so for as long as they could exploit an audience, they would. Just the ways have sort of changed and evolved over time. Obviously now with crypto, it's easier than ever. You can just launch essentially your own Ponzi scheme.
Snake oil salesmen have been around since day dot. Ever since they were, mining for gold. It was a person selling the shovels that made the most money. So it's just that, but for a digital era now. But with things like social media, Twitter, paid ads, marketing that you can do now, you can almost laser target a vulnerable person.
We have these guys that are money hungry, and these are typically the fake gurus. And whenever you have a gold rush, like we're seeing with crypto right now, where you can get rich fast, it allows people to come up with fake claims and start making their own crypto and use all types of manipulative sales tactics to get you to buy in.
As cryptocurrency hurdles towards mainstream adoption, social media influencers and celebrities have eagerly become the public faces of many crypto projects. Simultaneously, however, many online scammers and internet personalities have begun using this space to exploit fans and viewers for their own financial benefit. In 2021 alone, online scammers around the world stole a record $14 billion in cryptocurrency from investors. Due to the effectiveness of this new social media economy, the internet has given rise to a new method of fraudulent activity, the influencer scam. As these scams have progressed and evolved over time, a small group of creators on YouTube have dedicated themselves to documenting and analyzing the way online fraudsters attempt to separate you from your money. For the past couple of years, Stephen Coffeezilla Findeisen, Mike Winnet, and Spencer Cornelia have been explaining and exposing influencer scams on their YouTube channels. Here, they walk us through some of the most prominent types of scams and how they continue to adapt to crypto trends and technologies. Welcome inside the influencer scam.
An influencer scam is when somebody with a direct connection to their audience uses that sort of parasocial relationship to convince their audience to do something that they wouldn't have otherwise done.
CSGO Lotto.
People would host these sites, which was basically gambling, but instead of using real currency, they would use CSGO skins, which were tradable in real life for real dollars. It's sort of like NFTs before NFTs were a thing. The influencers who actually were promoting these sites often had backroom deals so that they would win a lot more often than their fans would. So they said, oh, look at me just make all this money. I'm making thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in a single night of gambling. And their fans would go in and absolutely get torched.
The ICO scam.
People would jump in to try to pre-mine coins, and you would pay in the hopes of getting future returns from this great new crypto coin that was going to launch. And influencers were a big part of this because they were a part of providing exposure to this ICO. Now, a lot of times these weren't what they were promised. In the case of somebody like Floyd Mayweather, he promoted Centratech, and I believe DJ Khaled did as well. It turned out to be a massive scam. Centratech raked in millions of dollars, and both of them walked away with a 3-year ban by the SEC. But it was the investors that really got kind of screwed because that coin is worth nothing now.
Financial freedom scams.
The world's been locked down for 2.5, 3 years. COVID, global pandemic, everyone had to start working from home. It was almost like the perfect storm for this group of people because now everybody's been told that they can't rely on one source of income. So everybody's now fallen into the trap of wanting to create a side hustle and extra revenue or passive income or whatever it might be. So it's almost a perfect storm for any of these online gurus that are basically good at marketing.
I think a lot of people think only stupid people get scammed, yet it can be really persuasive when you're sat there.
I've seen some people selling CDs, literally CDs that you can put in your car that are going to motivate you and change your life. I've seen business plans, which is basically a USB with a PDF on, which is a one-page marketing piece of paper. Property courses was a big one. If you know how to make £1 million a month from property in, I don't know, Boston, why would you then go and run a course for $37 and teach 1,000 other people in Boston how to make $1 million a month? It doesn't make any sense.
Altcoins.
Pump and dumps, they come up with a roadmap, and that roadmap is going to indicate what they plan to do in the future. And they'll come up with all these excellent products in the future, and they hype it up. They will pay an influencer to start promoting this coin. So we'll call it the Spencer coin. You pay an influencer 50 grand or something, it'll start hyping up Spencer coin is the next big thing. Here's why this coin is going to be excellent and why it's going to be the next Dogecoin, right? So of course people are going to buy in. Well, after that initial surge, you will see 1,000x or 10,000x price surges. It allows the developers and creators to sell off their ownership stake to all the people now caught up in the hype. And it allows them to make exorbitant amounts of money in a very short amount of time.
You had cases like Save the Kids, where they started this coin, they said it was for charity, whatever, and then you're gonna make money and you're gonna support charity while you're at it. It turns out there was a secret mechanism called the anti-whale code, which was supposed to help people by not letting reg pulls happen. It was told to people that there was a limit on how much you could sell of the coin at one time. So don't worry about these people who have all these coins. You don't have to worry about that. You can trust us because we're not even able to sell this coin. Well, it turns out that in the last final moments before launch, this code was changed by the developers to basically be non-existent, to let people sell as fast as possible. Then you see a lot of influencers changing their tact because they don't want to be, caught by the authorities.
And now, NFTs.
So yeah, so you've got to see the whole arc because it paints a beautiful picture when you get it all together. So NFTs are the newest orange to squeeze, I guess. Instead of promising a coin, which can be seen much more as an investment, you promise NFTs, which have much more dubious, strange value. So that when inevitably your NFT crashes to zero after you've dumped it on your fans, told them it's going to be the next Bored Ape Yacht Club, you can say, well, look, you still got a piece of art, maybe very generously called art, but nevertheless, it's hard to say, is this a scam? It's just so questionable.
They launch their NFT project to people that haven't got a clue about NFTs. These were the same people that a year ago was telling everybody that they needed a podcast and how you could earn £10,000 a month from your podcast. Download my course and you'll teach you everything you need to set a podcast up, how to market your podcast. These are the same people that were doing property events in hotels and conferences. They would have been doing a property course there. So they just moved from grift to grift.
I think a lot of influencers and a lot of, frankly, banks and governments don't realize how much the blockchain is going to change the way we report things. In the past, you basically have to be the FBI to get this level of information on someone's financial history. Now, anybody with an internet connection can see what you or I do on crypto if they just know our address. There's sort of a crowdsourced intelligence around catching these scams because now everyone can access all these, financial records in essence. I think a lot of people are going to see old cases start getting prosecuted where they thought, oh, this guy got away with it. And then I think people are going to become much more scared to basically scam people with crypto. I think it's both exciting and also a little terrifying in a way to think of, how crypto is going to change all of our lives with regards to financial privacy. I think the money-making opportunity for these people is huge. And I also think the window's closing. And I think a lot of people realize that. So even though there's bigger backlash, I think the amount of people doing it is maybe higher than it's ever been.